Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you are well. I'm good too, Alhamdulillah. So today our guest speaker is Muhammad Abdullah. He's an architect and he is an alumnus of University of Punjab. He did his masters and his bachelor's both from University of Punjab. He did his specialization in sustainable urban design and regeneration and heritage architecture. He's currently working in his own consultancy, which is named as Tajdeed Design Studio, and he's an Incharge and coordinator at Government University, Faisalabad. He's very kind and generous for sharing his knowledge and for sharing his insight with us today on the walled city of Lahore. And I'm looking forward to this topic from his perspective. Yes, I have shared my own perspective in 2020 in the Pakistan India talk, but I was looking forward to someone else sharing their opinion because this topic is we are never bored with this topic especially, and we always hear new insights and new information from different people and how they see this part of the city, which is known to be the essence and the soul of Lahore. So I hope you enjoy the episode. So do share your feedback. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, Architect Abdullah? So good to see you
Walaikum
after a
salam.
long time.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, Alhamdulillah. So, how's life and how's the G studio going on?
It is going good. I'm satisfied with the progress.
Amazing,
Alhamdulillah.
amazing. You have the amazing. I must say the portfolio, maybe the heritage conservation and the built heritage sustainability of environment and the knowledge that you are inclining towards, the work you're inclining towards. It's very amazing to hear that our seniors are invested in that area. So I'm really honored to have you here, and I'm looking forward to what you have to share today. So go ahead and educate us. Share your perspective with us.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Let me start my presentation.
Sure.
So the topic of my presentation today is walled city, a city within a city as the identity of Lahore, its past, present, and future state. So, as you can see from my first slide of my presentation, here we have aerial view of Lahore. It is basically a picture taken from walled city of Lahore. And in this picture, you can see, if you tilt your head a bit, you can see the walled city, the old Lahore in front. And on the back side, you can see the new Lahore, the modern buildings, the concrete jungle. But you can see that walled city is still sustaining its identity with full zest. So moving ahead, um first of all, I would like to define walled city. What is city and what is walled? So, defining city, a city is a large human settlement. It can be defined as a permanent and densely settled place with administratively defined boundaries, whose members work primarily on non-agricultural tasks. And on the other side, if we see the definition of walled, it is an area of land or a city which is surrounded or enclosed by a wall. So we can say that walled city is basically a city which has a wall around it. It was the concept in ancient times when there were wars and there were issues of that time when people needed to surround physically their cities. They needed to surround the cities with the walls to protect their cities, their identity, their culture from invaders. So, walled city of Lahore is also a typical example of such walled cities. And the good thing is that walled city of Lahore is still sustaining in these modern times. It has gates as its identity. It has the street patterns which were developed in the old times, and uh, it is a very well conserved and well preserved city. Moving ahead, here's the map of Lahore, and if you can see, the uh, wall city is marked in red circle. Lahore has a larger boundary, and wall city of Lahore is a very small part of it now. Basically, wall city was the actual Lahore, but now, as you can see, Lahore is a big city, and wall city is nowadays only a small part of it. In this map, we can see a larger view of the walled city. The surrounding areas are Data Darbar, Amin Park, Data Nagar, Misri Nagar, Misri Shah, Gawal Mandi, and Narkali area, Kila Gujar Singh. All of these are the neighboring areas of walled city of Lahore. So as you can see from these names, all of these neighboring areas also have a very historic names, and they also have influenced from walled city of Lahore. As when the cities develop, its neighboring areas start developing on the same or near to similar patterns. So this was a quote I found on the website of Wall City of Lahore Authority. Wall City of Lahore Authority is basically an organization which is doing a commendable job in preserving the heritage of Wall City, and they are documenting their projects while conserving the Wall City of Lahore and its monuments. So this quotation was very interesting. It is as if Wall City Lahore is saying about it. It is an introduction from the city itself. I am an unseen and uncharted life, hidden inside 13 giant gates. Though some I have lost, still I hold the glory of bygone days and the possessions of the past, which the rulers left behind in my streets and edifices. I am walled city, the Lahore, the old Lahore. I am the essence of life, heritage, and culture. So it is, I think, a very good example of defining a city which has a lot of things holding inside it. So moving ahead, let us divide this introduction of World City of Lahore into three parts: its past, present, and future. So initially, its past. It is one of the oldest settlements of the world, which are still sustaining, where people are still living there. And there was no time when Lahore was not a livable city. It is very interesting to note that Lahore is one of the very few cities of the world which have been continuously habitated. So it has monuments, havelis. Havelis are basically the old style pattern, old style homes of the local people. Normally, the people who were from the upper class of the society, they had these specific kind of houses with courtyards in the center and the verandas and then the rooms around it. So these were called the havelis. Many havelis of old times are still sustaining in these times and very well conserved. Thirdly, the cuisines. Lahore's cuisines are famous all over the world. People know Lahore from the cuisines of its different areas. Its bazaars, as we can say in English, the streets with normally the commercial activities going on, and mostly these are the mixed use commercial areas, mixed use and residential commercial areas. And on the Last but not least, the culture and its traditions. Definitely, the culture and traditions develop with time, and as we can see, Lahore is a very, very old city. So, definitely, the culture and traditions are very rich. Moving on, this is the map of Lahore, walled city Lahore, which in which we can see the gates, 13 gates, as we mentioned earlier, 13 gates of Lahore. The Taksali Gate, Roshnai Gate, Masti Gate, and these three gates are you can see they are surrounding the Lahore Fort. And then the Kashmiri Gate, Sheranwala Gate, Yaki Gate, Delhi Gate, Akbari Gate, Mochi Gate, Shalmi Gate, Lohari Gate, Mori, and Bhati Gate. All of these gates are, very uh, have their own specific historic backgrounds, and the geographical interlinks with other areas of the subcontinent. For example, the Delhi Gate is exactly in front of the Delhi city of which is now in India. It is in if you can see in the map, Delhi Gate is in straight line towards the Delhi city. So similarly, these all of these gates are very important, and they have very important and very interesting historical backgrounds. So in history, we can see that it was the birthplace of Prince Lo. It was once a Brahmanabad city. It was invaded by Subuktigin, captured by Mahmud of Ghazna, conquered by Shahabuddin Gauri, ransacked by Mongols, remained with Khiljis, Tughlaqs, and Lodi dynasties. All of these points are uh, very important. If you can, if you start studying about these times, so you can see that how important walled city of Lahore is. Moving on, historical background. Okay, now we can see that in history of Lahore, basically there are three main periods which had very important buildings, which we can see in these modern times. So the first one is Mughal period, the golden period of Mughals, when the city touched its zenith. The Mughal Emperor Akbar rebuilt the mud fort of Ghaznavid period. The Lahore fort was basically the initially built by in Ghaznavid period, with burnt bricks, and added 13 gates to the city, connected with a 30 feet high fortified wall. These 13 gates and were built by Mughal emperors, and the 30 feet high fortified wall. The gates he added were Delhi Gate, Chaki Gate, Sheranwala Gate, Kashmiri Gate, Masti Gate, Roshnai Gate, Lohari Gate, Bhati Gate, Shalmi Gate, Akbari Gate, Mochi Gate, and Taksali Gate, along with Mori. Mori was basically, some people say that Mori was not a gate, it was a point from where the trash of the city was carried out. But nowadays, Mori is also called a gate. So it is also considered one of the gates of the walled city of Lahore. The Mughals rebuilt giant mosques like Mariam Zamani Mosque, Wazir Khan Mosque, Taksali Mosque, and Badshahi Mosque, along with the several other structures. These monuments are still seen in the walled city of Lahore. Then came the Sikh period. It was a very short period, but Lahore became such a charismatic city that the Sikhs started fighting for power and gained the throne when Maharaja Ranjit Singh became Sher-e Punjab. He was one of the emperor who ruled in Lahore and in Punjab. The Sikhs added a more in the Sikhs added in more buildings like Havelis and religious sites like Gurdwara and Janamasthan. We can still see the gurdwaras and Janamasthan of in different areas of world city of Lahore. The famous Havelis of Sikhera, one of them are Dhyan Singh Haveli, one is Non Hal Singh, and Haveli of Jamadar Khushal Singh. The pavilion or Baradari of Hazuri Bagh was also built by Maharaja Ranjit Singh and celebrated the attainment of Kohinoor diamond. And then came the British period. Basically, these three periods can still be seen nowadays, where its architecture, which is very well conserved uh, in most of the areas. In British times, Lahore was carried away the precious Kohinoor diamond with them. The British took over Lahore and carried away the precious Kohinoor diamond with them. The British also demolished the high walls of the city and pulled down the gorgeous gates and added a circular road and circular garden around it. Basically, British people had their own ideologies regarding the cities. They wanted to modernize the city according to their own ideologies and their uh, design patterns. So they changed the architecture of walled city of Lahore as much as they could. During all this time, from Mughals to British, the walled city of Lahore witnessed commotions. In the early 1900s, the British rebuilt the 13 gates with different architecture. As I mentioned earlier, these 13 historic gates were also rebuilt, and the designs were definitely changed according to the British designers. A few gates were burned and a few collided with the passage of time. And at present, we have only six of them. Only six of them are basically surviving nowadays. One of these, out of these, the only Mughal era gate is the Roshnai Darwaza, which is next to the Samadhi of Maharaja Ranjit Singh opposite to Lahore Fort. Here is the timeline of Lahore from 1000 before Christ, uh, from foundation of Lahore by Prince Lo to 630 AD, Brahmanabad city, as I mentioned earlier. In 975 AD, Subuktigin invaders came to the Lahore. In 1021 AD, Mahmud Ghaznavi captured the city. 1039 to 1186 AD, golden rule of Ghaznavids. In this time, the initial fort of Lahore was also built, and similarly, Shahabuddin Gauri conquered Lahore. Mongols ransacked the Lahore. Lahore played almost no role in from 1236 to 1524. Only the Khaljis and Tughlaqs, Sayyid and Lodi dynasties succeeded one another in these times. From 1524 AD, Babur captured Lahore. 1606 to 1712, the glorious Mughal era. 1739 AD, Nadir Shah captured Lahore. 1748 to 1767 AD, Ahmad Shah Abdali invaded Lahore 8 times. It is very interesting to note that in different times, many invaders came to Lahore. This basically shows the importance of the Lahore geographically and culturally and historically. This area remained very important for all of the invaders and emperors of the world, that they wanted to capture the city and rule over this area. In 1764 to 1848 AD, Sikh rule started. 1849 to 1947, Lahore under British control, as we know. From 1947 to creation, from now, we know that Pakistan was created in 1947, and still Lahore is under Pakistan. And let's move ahead. The present time. There is a powerfully knitted neighborhood structure in the walled city of Lahore. These people are a part of each other's lives in all moments. The actual spirit of harmony and tolerance can be seen when the rituals and merriment are celebrated without the concept of caste, religion, culture, and creed. All of the people of Lahore now still celebrate all of the religious and other events with full zeal and zest, and they celebrate with each other without any differences. The sky touching rooftops of Havelis with pigeons cages on them, and charismatic people know each other's family matters, household issues, and they support each other. This kind of neighborhood system is hard to find anywhere in as in Lahore. And I will say that this kind of neighborhood is a very hard to find all over the world. We cannot see such examples in other countries. Such places are very hard to find nowadays. Wall city Lahore are very important to note, as you can see they are very narrow streets, and even the modern urban planners are amazed at the labyrinth like streets laid down by our ancestors in Androon Lahore. The narrow, winding, twisting streets lead you from one point to another inside this small city. The streets have strange names which are after some personalities or professions or the people who lived in there. You will find the elbow streets and even narrower than those, but full of life, hustle, and bustle. In present times, we can see the world-class monuments which have been very conserved by the authorities. The walled city of Lahore has gems and wonders inside it. You will be amazed to see world-class monuments by our side while walking through guzargahs and streets. Some of the monuments like Lahore Fort, Shahi Hammam, Wazirkhan Mosque, Badshahi Mosque, Mariam Zamani Mosque, Nivi Masjid, Samadhi of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, Janamasthan, Guru Arjun Ram, Unchi Masjid, Golden Mosque, Mora Sarkar Masjid, Bauli Bagh, and Shahi Hammam. All of these places are a must see in Lahore, in walled city of Lahore. The world class monuments. One of these in this slide we can see the Wazirkhan Mosque. It is a picture beautifully taken, captured by Wall City of Lahore Authority. So from the top of, I think, one of its minarets, it has 4 minarets, and in this picture we can see the 3 main minarets. So I think this picture is taken from the fourth minaret of the mosque. We can see the courtyard, its central wuzu khana or wuzu pond, and the entrances to the hall of mosque. So moving ahead, this is the Badshahi Mosque, being Lahore walled city now being used by Muslims, being in the Muslim country. The mosques are very well preserved. As you know, the mosques have a religious aspect of conservation also. So this is the Golden Temple of Sikh period, and this building is also very well conserved. You can see the future of walled city of Lahore. The strategic plan for the walled city is being implemented in phases involving different sections. In the areas of walled city where our Khan Trust and walled city of Lahore Authority have concentrated their efforts, the expected impact is and will be noticeable with regard to the number of rehabilitated monuments, improved building conditions for local residents, improved access to utilities by these residents, improved access for visitors to historic monuments, and improved safety on the street. All of these aspects, as we being architects and urban designers, we study these aspects in the modern urban designs and the urban designing of modern cities. Now the urban planners implement these points in modern cities, in planning new cities. So these points are now being implemented in the walled city of Lahore Authority to make it to make it more alive and more practical to live in. The completed Khan Trust Gali Sujan Singh project for improved housing has set a high standard of quality. As you can see in this picture, it is a very interesting picture. It is colorful. It is, I think, I will say that it is the essence of walled city Lahore. You can see the color, brightly colored, painted doors, windows, and the red brick of the buildings which is being conserved, and the street patterns. The streets are, I think, the street floor is being rebuilt, and you can see the many plants, hanging pots have been implemented in these in this street to make it look like very interesting and a tourist street, I can say. The impact of this project has been such that this effort is already being replicated on a larger scale by the Walled City of Lahore Authority. The project was recognized by a UNESCO Asia Pacific Heritage Award in 2014, which is a very proud moment for the city, and definitely the authorities which are working really hard to make it possible. The removal of makeshift retail outlets that for decades have obscured important historic monuments along major arteries within the walled city, as well as the rehabilitation of these monuments, is already having substantial visual and psychological impact, leading to an increase in the number of visitors to the area. One of the examples of this phenomena is the Wazirkhan Mosque, where many commercial activities have been removed and shifted to other places to make the monumental building survive for many other years, we can say. Highlighting the importance of its heritage values, the times when it was used, and similarly the Shahi Hammam. It is being very well conserved, and many tourists are being attracted to see these monumental sites now. So coming towards the conclusion, the walled city of Lahore was, is, and will always remain the actual identity of the Lahore city. So when we say the identity of Lahore, the first thing that comes to our mind is the walled city of Lahore, definitely. So no matter how much the city grows, modern new buildings are being built. Concrete jungle we can see everywhere. The buildings with glass and concrete, the frame structures, the high-rise buildings are being built in all over the Lahore, but the basic roots will stay within this area, the walled city of Lahore. The area of Walled City has always been a matter of interest, especially for the architects, historians, artists, and archaeologists, because of its richest history. It is very great to see the rehabilitation projects for its protection and better growth. Thank you.
Amazing. It was, I must appreciate that. It was amazing because this is not something I have seen. This is not how I visualized it. I'm used to I used to incline towards sharing the pictures of Wall City and then making the comparison and then trying to explain how the Wall City is the identity of Lahore. But the way you have presented it is is very good. Like it shows that you are a teacher. Because the way you have compiled the data and then the way you have shared it in a flow, it was really good. This is a great detail, and I'm so happy. Like you can see that I'm speechless. I'm so happy because uh, we need to introduce to people the importance and the details of the wall city in a manner that it highlights its importance, and also because the social media is filled with its pictures, but we don't know the actual value from the factual point of view. And you have shared that, and I'm really happy that you have shared it. And the data you have, the words that were written with this within the slides, I love that. First of all, I love what you have written in that slide, which say the wall city is saying about itself. It's so true. And then the present part of wall city, how you have shared the words about how people feel in it, how people can interact in those areas. I'm really happy. It was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you so much for taking out time for this. So, any final words for it? How was the experience for you?
Welcome, welcome. I'm glad that you liked it. Basically, this area, Lahore, and it's specifically the walled city of Lahore and the surrounding areas are very very close to my heart. I am not basically from Lahore. Didn't belong to Lahore, but I lived there for around 7 8 years, and after this time, I think I have a feel of belonging from this city. Anyone who lives in this city and who experiences these areas, especially the walled city and its surrounding areas, anyone can feel special things about the city, the importance of the walled city, its history, its culture, its cuisine. Everything is beyond amazing. It has a unique feel, I can say. Anywhere you go in the world, you will miss this feel. So I think it was a good opportunity for me to explain this city. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Pleasure, my pleasure. It's a homey area, you know. Once someone is there, they feel belong to that area because I guess the warmth of the people and the way they are welcoming. I don't feel welcome in other parts of Lahore. I do. I was raised here. I don't feel belong to my area even, but I feel belonged in the area of Wall City, and this is true. You
Exactly,
have studied
exactly.
here. Your crucial
Yes.
time of life, the study years of your life were spent in
And
Lahore. So I'm glad that you have felt
and
like belonging to
and
Lahore.
and the good thing is that I had a chance to explore these areas on foot. I didn't initially when I shifted to Lahore. I walked a lot in these areas. I just used to roam around in the on the Mall Road, the Data Darbar area, the Walled City, in Shalmi Gate area, Delhi Gate. Even before studying in the architecture, I like to roam around in this city and explore its people, how the people interact. It is very interesting to know how people even speak, how they interact with each other and the strangers. They are always very welcoming. When I still remember when I visited the walled city of Lahore first time. It was night time around 9 10 p.m. and it was fully alive. All the shopkeepers, all the bazaars were well lit, and everyone was so welcoming. I just simply loved this area at first sight. It was the love at first sight, you may say. So
Yes.
and it is I think very good to know and see the authorities working on
Yeah.
preserving it. So because when you see the buildings, the architecture which has such a great importance, and it is being demolished, or it is not a good condition, that is a disturbing feeling. So I am very hopeful that wall city of Lahore will sustain in future also, inshallah.
Inshallah. Great. Okay, so with all of this, what you have taught us, and by the end of it, I think we can take away one more thing from you, which is to roam the city, to explore the city on foot, and discover places in a different manner, and feel the places in a different manner. Because being on foot is an experience of its own. So thank you so much.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abdullah, for your time and for your sharing your insight with us. I hope you take care of yourself and see you next time. Allah Hafiz.
Okay, Allah Hafiz.